Hello, hello, hello. It's your girl, Tamika Hall here, and welcome back for another episode of Tamika Hall Live. Listen, I'm super psyched, y'all. I am super duper psyched. We were just here not even 20 minutes ago. We were speaking with author Irene Reyes Smith, and we were talking about her book, Surviving the Badge. And now I'm excited because I'm speaking to y'all. I got a celebrity in the virtual house right now, y'all. I got some juice because I was able to pull her from her job to come and sit here and talk to us and to drop some gems on us tonight. And listen, you've already seen it. If you have been working on something, if you have a work that's burning on the inside of you, if you've been wondering how to pitch and sell your script, your project to a TV network, to a channel, to a studio, to a production company. Listen, if you just have the dream of seeing your name lit up in lights, then this is definitely the show for you. I'm really excited. I have Mrs. Ty Johnston-Chavis that is joining me on tonight. And I'm excited for you to meet her. Ty, hello, hello, hello. How are you doing?
Hello.
Listen, I'm hype about you being here. And for those who may not know, listen, y'all. She's a television producer. She's worked as a professor. Okay, she's the woman that helps creators get their stuff in front of BET, Lifetime, Fox, Harpo Films, MGM, Nickelodeon, and not only are they able to pitch their stuff, but their stuff has been there's been a green light to their stuff. So this is definitely the woman that you want to be hearing from. But she's also the author of To Pitch or Not to Pitch. Oh, and I gotta say this: you're a mommy. You're a mommy, and you're a wifey to. Let's see here. You have a husband, and you. How many children do you have?
I have 4.
You got 4 babies. Okay, listen. Before we get started with all of your glitz and glamour, you got to give us your secret. How in the world do you balance being a mommy, being a wifey? You're running productions, you're getting people's stuff pitched, you're saying yay or nay, and you look fabulous in a great pair of stilettos. How in the world do you do it all?
That's a really good question. And I'm still working at just doing it, So, I can only be honest with you, Tamika, and everyone else out there listening that, it's hard work. It's a commitment. You have to be your own support group, your own support person. You got to stay as motivated as possible. When you're on that low, you got to find that high. And, it's a continuous of a process every single time that you think about, do I want to feel this way about myself, or do I want to, give in? You can't. And especially when you have little people that are looking up to you,
yeah,
you don't have time to sob. So I'm not into the sobbing business. I'm into, the winning business. And that goes for all the parts of our life, whether it's business or personal.
I love that. I'm not into the sobbing business. I'm into the winning business. I just got to ask you, how does somebody know that they're being a crybaby and they're not just kind of, licking their wounds for a moment? How do you know when you're doing that and you're just taking defeat, accepting defeat?
The way that you feel about yourself, if you can just stay on the positive note, knowing that, hey, I could do better at this. Like if somebody gave you something and they said, well, let's put it this way. If you gave someone some of your material and, they came back, they gutted it, it needed this, it needed that. You should be happy about that. Like the feedback is the best thing that you could ever get from someone to even know whether if it was a product or a project, right? Project in television and film, or if it was a product that was something of, hey, I'm looking to put this into Target or retail or wherever. Whatever it is that you feel like you're looking to acquire and do, you need that feedback. You don't need mama and them, brother and sister and them, auntie and them, the guy next door, the girl next door, our neighbors, because they're all rooting for you anyway. You need people who are already in that business, who are working through that lifeline of that business or that industry, so that way they can tell you what you really need to know, so that way you can make improvement. So, don't be into licking your wounds. Band-aid them suckers up, right? No, first, let's put some peroxide on it first, okay? Because it's gonna sting a little, right? It's gonna sting a little. Let's put some peroxide on it. It's not gonna feel good. You might come out with mud on your face. That's okay. But you gotta jump out of it to jump back in it, right? Jumping out of it meaning jumping out of your feelings, jumping out of, hey, I just, but this has always been my baby and I have to protect it and I have to do this and I have to do that. No, what you need to do is make sure that you find those improvements, right, that could be made for that project so you can take it to the next level.
That's good stuff. And you better preach in here. You better preach in here. And it really just comes down to us knowing ourselves. And it was funny because when you got on, I wanted to make sure I pronounced your name correctly. Like, it is very important to me that people say my name correctly. And one of the things that we somewhat have in common is my maiden name is Johnson and yours is Johnston. How, even with just saying that, how important is it for you to know yourself before you try to walk into anybody's room and pitch anything?
Man, it's so important for you to have to know yourself because, for one, if not, then you're going to be perhaps bamboozled or fooled by what you are really presenting. Okay, so don't let anybody like really firmly change your mind of who you are, right? If you go into the room and someone, or let's say a pitch room or a meet, and someone says, will we really see the project as, X, Y, and Z. Okay, we're just going to use a general factor. And you can't see yourself bending. Okay, if it's something that has to do with like creative points, something creatively, you really do have to be open. But if you can't see yourself bending and now stooping down and changing these characters into, a character that is going to be diminishing perhaps Black women, right? Then don't stoop to that. Okay, I have a script right now, and we actually had a non-Black writer, to create this character or kind of refine this character, and the way that they refine them was not really acceptable to us other Black women who are on that project. So we wanted this person to be not so much of, a rag doll. We wanted her to be someone who was highly respected and qualified and, because we are those women too. So you don't have to go back to the 1920s or to find like what
speaking with bad English.
Yeah, and what good characterization or development really is. You can find that right now by looking at, women like Tamika Hall.
Did you just say my name? Y'all, she just said my name like I deserve to be in the room. Yes.
That's right. That's right. So, so that's what I really mean. But if you you're not going to bend that way, right? Then don't bend. Don't bend. But if you feel like, hey, I have a creative open mind, right? So I don't mind. This film project may not really be a movie. It might be a series. I'm up for that. I'm up for testing the let's see, could this creatively become a series? Because you don't want to miss out, right?
Yeah.
And don't worry about that one. That one is only going to get you through the door, but that one isn't going to carry you forever.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Being willing to bend if it makes sense, but you have to be true to yourself. I love that. I love that. So, okay. So we know that you've worked as a television producer, and I know that you still actively do that. I mean, you do so many different things, but for the person that's tuned in listening and they don't understand what a television producer is or what they do, can you just briefly tell it, like, give us some shine on what you do every single day? Yeah.
Well, man. Well, let me answer your question first. For a television or film producer, what they do is they put all of the meat and potatoes in one pot and they cook it up and they stir it and then they make it so beautiful, right? So that's hiring the crew. That's finding the director. That's making sure that your budget is correct, right? And then that's going from conceptualization to delivery. Okay, so like, let's say if BET is ready for that project that was developed by my writer, okay, then from there, it happens to be that I'll take it from conceptualization to delivery, all the way to BET, puts and press the play button, right, for programming. also too, for me on a day-to-day basis, my work is down in the grimy guts of working with independent content creators who are trying to find their way, right? Trying to find their way, very hopeful, and also looking to have that open door and that access. And that's what I provide for people. A lot of my whether if they're mentees or whether if they are, artists now or screenwriters, they're going on and they're doing great things. Even some of my students from, working as a full-time professor in this same field of television and film, they're married now. Like I had them when they was babies, 17, straight out of high school, now married with children doing great things, whether if they came from the audio department or whether if they came from, the video department. I mean, it's just such a reward for me to be able to see people soar and do great things. Some people are like, you don't want to work and do this and do that. It's like, I kind of got all the best of everything right now.
Yeah.
I'm not tripping about nothing. I love what I do. I think people have to find what they're really great at. And I know for me, putting together teams, of course, that's production. I could do it in my sleep, matching people with the right person. Just today, I had a writer that needs to get some punch up done. She needs a little bit of a better structuring for her script. She has a great script now, and she has plenty of execs that have already inquired on it,
Nice.
But just a little bit more work, right? A little bit more structure to the, to formatting and just making sure that, everything is all nipped in bud and solid. Well, I'm pairing her with a very experienced writer, like 12 years, somebody who's professional, somebody who got great credits. And she's like, oh my God, will I be able to work with them? I'm like, yeah, you got the email. She's already responded. Like, she's ready to go, so people are, just wanting to have that opportunity. And I think that's the best thing that you can give people right now is an opportunity and a door access to be open.
Folks, we are talking to Ty Johnston-Chavis, and we're talking about life in the limelight, life on stage, life in front of a camera. And we're talking to her because she is the author of To Pitch or Not to Pitch. If you have not purchased her book, oh, perfect. I was about to flash it on the screen. I need for you to click the button. Right now, we are on Amazon Live, and you can look right below the screen and you can click and purchase this book. And what I love, with you just kind of talking to us about this the young lady that you're working with, she's teachable. It sounds like she's teachable and she's open, and it makes sense that we need to be teachable. And you chose to divulge all of your secrets in To Pitch or Not to Pitch. Talk to us about your book.
My book was a long time coming. It was my footwork, right? It was my blueprint of how do you do it, right? How do you open up the door? How do you, people are just wanting to know, like, how to, like, I don't know how to find this person to, see, do they even like my project? How do I get talent attached? How do I find a director? How do I get people who are interested? Nobody knew that, or let's say that nobody wanted to take the time to tell people how to do it, right? So I kind of became that go person. How that also happened was creating the Atlanta Pitch Summit that we just literally celebrated 10 years, last month, the beginning of this month in November. And that is exactly what it is, the Atlanta Pitch Summit, where content creators meet distribution. So any and everyone from Hollywood, as an executive or a buyer, has graced the stage or graced the platform of the summit, being able to listen to pitches one-on-one, of those that are just looking to pitch their idea. Of course, you want things to be copyrighted, of course. So we do have a guideline before you come to pitch on what to do. But just being in the room, getting a chance to sit one-on-one across from, someone that makes decisions, right? again, you drop names, some of those: MGM, Nickelodeon, BET, TV1, Fox. I mean, the list goes on, and people are just wanting, again, that, 5 minutes, that 5 minutes of, hey, if I had 5 minutes with Oprah, what are you going to do?
Sure.
Okay. Now, what you going to talk to Oprah about in 5 minutes? And you ain't gonna talk to her about, like, oh, what you did in Africa with those children and that school, that's so great. No, not when you are at the line of to pitch or not to pitch. You gotta let her know she is in that business, she's in that world, whether she wants to hear it or not. Of course, she would send someone to the Atlanta Pitch Summit to listen to these projects for her or for her company. Let's say that. So, of course, we have Harpo Films and OWN TV that has been with us for the last 4 years listening.
Nice. That is so dope. That's so awesome. How can people find out more information about the Atlanta Pitch Summit? Because I know you just celebrated the 10 years this year, but I know people need to get themselves ready for next year, especially with you saying that there are guidelines like having your stuff copywritten.
Yeah, definitely. Well, one of those ways is just keep in touch with us on social media, which is Atlanta Pitch Summit, or you can go to the website, which is atlantapitchsummit.com. If you Google it, you'll be able to find us. And we're always in the let me say, the pitching business. Let's say that.
I love it. We're always in the pitching business. I absolutely love that. So listen, I want to ask you, what are some mistakes that creators make when it comes to pitching their work? Because really, this is why they need your book. This is why this is why we need it. What are some mistakes that we make?
That's such a good question. Some of the mistakes that I believe that people make is, when those opportunities do come about, like, what are you going to pitch, right? Firstly, people don't work on their pitch. They just think that they are supposed to run up and, just start talking. That's not what a pitch is. You don't just, supposed to just start rambling and talking about, like, what type of script you have. Like, people who are really in this industry, whether if you're a neophyte or whether if you're a veteran, it's hard to pitch, right? It might sound like it's easy, but you got to practice. It's just like any muscle that you need to build, right? So we're not going to go out there and become gymnasts and we don't know how to stretch our muscles, go to practice, work on this cartwheel, work on this back handspring. You got to work on it. When they do believe that they have this opportunity to pitch, that they become very long-winded. Keep it short and sweet. Okay. Yeah. Nobody wants to hear about what happens from the beginning to the end. That is all still in your mind. You really need to put this down on paper, have a synopsis ready and prepared, right? So again, if somebody is looking to pitch, the best thing to do is to have your script prepared, have your script coverage that you can. And what that means is if you can have, a professional to reread it, or there's plenty of organizations to reread your script for you and to kind of give you some great script notes, right? So that's what coverage is. Also, too, being able to, make sure that you're memorable. You can't go into any meeting, even if you and I were conversing, online like this. Don't be dry. Like, if you're not excited about your project or your script, right, or these characters, then neither am I, and you want to be undeniable, right? And you want to make sure that your pitch is very well structured. So, a lot of times people are forgetting just to do that.
They're forgetting just to do that. I mean, preparation really is key. I mean, I know I prepare before every interview. I don't just jump on camera and just wing it. We prepare. And I think, I don't know what it is about us that are independent creators that we feel like we should not prepare for these major opportunities. And honestly, I mean, I hate to say it, those of us that are like religious and we love the Lord, because God knows I love the Lord. I'm unapologetically a woman of God. But sometimes we think that God is just going to send favor and we don't have to work for it. And, that is something that can definitely be an issue. So, let me see here. Did I lose you? Ty, did I lose you? Let me see here, friends. I think I might have lost Ty for just a second. Hold on 1 second. Ty, I think I might have lost you. Jump back in for me. Listen, friends, this is what we're doing. We are talking to Ty Johnston-Chavis, and we're talking about her book, To Pitch or Not to Pitch. That is who we are talking to, and I'm really excited about the fact that we're really getting the nuts and bolts of what it means to actually pitch your work to an executive and what that means. And so she's been dropping a lot of different gems. She's been dropping gems from telling us about how we really need to know ourselves. You have to know yourselves. You to know yourself. You have to know what is it that you're willing to bend on, because what that lets us know is sometimes when you have a work and you present it to people, this hair is dry. Okay, there we go. I had this piece of hair that looked like it was stabbing me in the throat. I don't know what that was about, but sometimes there is the possibility that you may be asked to change something or shift something. And one of the things that Ty let us know is that you got to know yourself, and what are you willing to bend on, and what are you willing to flow with and allow there to be some change. And so we've been having some really great conversation, and Ty's been dropping all of the gems. And the last thing that we were just talking about was the fact that you got to be ready. You have to be prepared. I feel like it's running a marathon. It's like running a marathon. You can't just go out and run 20 miles and think that you're going to even finish, but you have to absolutely be prepared. So Ty, what I was saying before it froze, I was saying a lot of us, especially us religious babies, like I'm a preacher's kid. I'm unapologetically a woman of God. And sometimes we tend to just think that the Lord is supposed to just give us favor, and that when he opens the door, we don't have to prepare for that. Do you find that to kind of be, do you find that when you're dealing with faith-based people?
Yeah, I do. And actually, I've had so many different experiences, like they feel like sometimes, and it's when you say faith-based people, sometimes they're at an all high with it. And sometimes they could just be, believing that it's supposed to be because God ordained it. Yes, he sure did. But you still have to do the work. Right? He can't do the work for you. So you still have to know your characters. You got to know what they want. Why are they here in the script, right? Like, what are the central conflicts? What are the stakes? What are the themes? You have to know that, right? You can't wait for God to answer that.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
We're just preparing the people. So just go ahead. Look, Sharon said, preach. Look, we were just shout out to Sharon Monet. We are so excited. Yes. And I'm so excited about her connection. She connected you to me. And so I'm so excited about Sharon connecting the two of us together.
Kudos to Sharon.
I want to ask you, okay, so I know you get a lot of pitches that come your way. Do you wear your feelings and what you're thinking like on your face, or have you perfected like the poker face?
I'm
gonna do this. If you saw something that was really amazing, what would we see on your face without you saying it? What would it look like?
It's just happy, like whatever happy looks like, right? But it's a different type of happy. It's like, oh no. Oh, we got to get this together right now. Because
okay, so something. If it's a pitch and it sucks, like it sucks, like it stinks. There is no helping it right now. Oh, that's the face. That's the face.
Yeah, like, but I'm still very empathetic on what's going on. It's just like, that's still the nurturing, that's the mommy in me, that's the professor in me. It's like, but we're gonna find a way. We're gonna do this. I'm always gonna keep it like cheerful. I'm always gonna keep it, but I'm always gonna be very truthful. I want people to believe that they can still do this, right? It's still hard, but I'm the person that's gonna keep you encouraged. I'm gonna be your cheerleader and your coach. Right? So you're not going to feel like you have a down and out moment. You might, but that's because you're talking to them. Don't be talking to them about that. Right? They don't know. Right? And don't get into your feelings. Just like we talked about earlier, you got to stay out of that. I just had to have, a conversation with two young ladies a couple of weeks ago, and they're great. They're a writing duo. I believe in them. They have great energy. They pitch well, but it still takes time, right? Just because you have something that just seems like it's right there and it's packaged so lovely, that's also another thing to talk about, the packaging, right? How are you packaging your project, right? They know how to do all that. It's great,
Nice.
but it's not the right time. You're going to find 1,001 no's before you get that yes. Are you willing to walk through, that door to get that yes? Or are you more willing to walk the thin line to get the no's?
Woo! That's good right there. That's good. That's good. Listen, so inside of your book, you again, you've been dropping gems, but one thing that you said that really stuck out to me, and I really want us to hit this before you go, because I know you probably got something huge that you're working on, and even if it's just being mommy or wifey for the moment. But you said this, and I had to write it down. You said, promise yourself one thing: you will fight for you, your dreams, and your legacy. Is there ever a moment that we should pack it up, go home, and say, this just isn't for me? And if so, when is that?
I ran across this actually about 2 weeks ago, and I had a thought of it, right? Okay, I've been in the business for quite some time. I'm going to use me as an example. I have a gentleman to work with me a couple weeks ago, and he mentioned to me, wow, you've been in this for a long time. He's like, what keeps you here? And that was tough for me to even answer. I said, I don't know. It's like, it's the love for it. It's the, what most urban folks like to say, the grind for it, or, and it's not even me, it's for the people, right? But I want to say that it's just one of those things that you just have to be committed to, right? If you're going to get married, you're going to be committed to your marriage. If you're going to sign up to be a parent, you need to be committed as a parent, right? So you just have to be committed. And when you want to pack up and go, you might as well just say, they get ready to bury me. Ooh. I'm just going to call it quits to everything, because it's going to be, you're always going to have that feeling that you need to finish what you started, and finish it at the level of what success is for you. Success means something different for everybody, right? So yeah, your legacy is involved, your culture is involved, I'm sure, your family is involved, I'm sure, because now they see you surrounded around what is keeping you driven, right? So how can you live off of that? How can you monetize it? It's hard. It's very hard. But if you find the way, and then you start seeing the door open for yourself, start pumping that blood, right? Start making sure that you're practicing what you're supposed to be improving on, and keep doing that on a daily basis. It's no different than, I'll give you this tip. And this might be kind of like a lame, analogy for it. But I tell you what, walking into a grocery store or into a store, let's say it doesn't have automatic doors, right? How many people do you really find to hold the door open for you? Not too many. I've been one of those people to hold the door open. Take that extra time to open it for someone, or make sure as I walk through, I'm holding it for the next person to walk through, right? I had to practice that, because I don't like walking into a place and it's like that person could have held the door. That's called polite. That's called generous. That's called kind, right? And I had to practice that, because I wanted to have that as a characteristic for myself, right? That was always a part of me. So wherever I go, I'm always holding that door open. It's no rush. Whether if I'm rushing or not, I'm going to make sure to hold that door open, right? So that's something that I wanted. I had to practice that. People still have to practice what they love. If you love it, practice it, so that way it can always be a part of you. Then you won't ever hang it up.
And you won't ever hang it up. Fight for your legacy. I love that. I love that. How can people connect with you, Ty? Offline and all that good stuff. How can they buy the book?
Yes. Well, thank you. You can always buy the book if it's at the link in the bottom right there for Amazon. just go down, just click it, please. You can find it at any of your retail online stores, Walmart, Barnes and Nobles. There's plenty others. And also, too, you can find me through any of the socials at Ty Johnston TV. That's a direct way to get to me right there. I'm on it every single day. So, hey, listen, that's the way to catch me in the fly.
I love that. So we actually have a question that's coming from Amazon Live. We have Sharon that's asking the question. So she says, for novice content creators, what should be in a pitch? Is that something that they got to buy the book for, or are you able to give us a little snack?
Well, okay, yeah, I'll give you a quick snack. For novice content creators, what you should have is, if you don't have a script, that's fine. At least create a one-page synopsis, right? If you can create a one-page synopsis, that's kind of like the premise of what this story idea is about, right? And if you also can create a one-liner really is a log line, and that's going to summarize what your full script is about. And I know you probably say, well, I don't have a script yet. I can only put together one page. Then make sure to summarize it for what the one page is, right? So I'm sure that the one page premise is going to be some full idea of what the story is, but that's how the script grows, right? Some people are like, I don't even know nothing about making a script. I don't know how to write a script. I don't know what software. It's all in the book. But I can tell you what, you start with that one page synopsis, that's going to take you home.
That's going to take you home. Listen, thank you so much for just sharing all of your wealth of knowledge, your expertise. Thank you for motivating us to keep going and, to get out of our feelings and to actually get into some practice and preparation. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. Listen, y'all, if you have not grabbed the book yet, if you just look right down in the carousel, thank you, Alicia. Alicia Shaw on Amazon says very good information. So thank you so much. Listen, it's right down in the carousel below. You can purchase the book, To Pitch or Not to Pitch. It is available in all formats. It's available in Kindle, hardcover, and paperback. I'm telling you, I have the book. You really want to get it either in paperback or hardcover because you want to be able to highlight some things. Like, Kindle's great, but you really want to be able to highlight this and make notes and all of the things for yourself. And I was so surprised. I was surprised at the price because the knowledge that's in here, legitimately, if we were to take a workshop, it would probably be close to $5,000.
Yeah.
And I've seen workshops that are at least $5,000. What I gotta ask, what made you bless us with this information for this investment?
Well, I wanted it to be an affordable piece that people didn't feel like, there was a price gouge, right? I wanted them to be able to know that, yes, this is information that doesn't come lightly, right? But let me go ahead and take my chance on it. And once they start diving in, it does become one of those notebooks that are a forever keeper, right? You want to make sure you bring out your highlighter. You're going to bend the pages. You're going to fold them, because that's what I do with books that I love. And you're going to write, you can even write your notes in there. That's fine too. This book is for those persons that have a story, right? It could be a pivotal moment of your life, right? It could be something that you're just creatively working on. You might have these great characters. You might have this trilogy that you just feel like, oh my God. Or you may already be an author and you're looking for an adaptation. How do you do that? It's all in there, right? So like you said, you got plenty of, I come from the classroom, right, to the workshop space, right? And then also to the theater type space. Now I've had someone to tell me, Ty, your live on-site workshops, they're like standing room only. Next time you come, we got to get you an amphitheater. So I'm working on that next.
Come on, amphitheater. Come on. And I will just say, for anyone that's hesitating, I honestly don't know why you would hesitate, because if you do have a dream, if you have a story, as you said, it's so well written. It's so easy to digest. But it's great information. Like you give us the technical stuff that goes into everything, but it's so well written and so well done. You're not gonna feel like you know how sometimes you read something and it feels like a textbook and it feels like you're just being inundated with like too much information.
Oh yeah.
It's not that. So you did such an amazing job on this book. And I'm telling you, friends, if you have a dream, I'm telling you, I'm using the line, promise yourself one thing, that you're going to fight for your dreams and your legacy, and make sure that you pick up this book to pitch or not to pitch. Ty Johnston-Chavis, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. For those of you that have been hanging out, thank you, Alicia and Sharon, for commenting on Amazon. Thank you to everybody. I see you guys. I guess you guys have just been soaking it all in. But listen, if you didn't ask the question, you kind of missed your moment. But thank you guys so much for everybody that's been taking it in, soaking it in. You really just bless my life when you come and you hang out with me. Remember that you were created to make God famous. He's anointed you to do hard things. And you all have a blessed night. Thank you so much.
Bye.